In this next topic, we're going to talk about the top 5 concerns about owning an electric vehicle. It seems like there was a study done, and this seems to be what people are most afraid about an EV adoption. And this could be hindering EV adoption as well. So that's why we make this channel. That's why we talk about all the different things that we can get around it. And on top of that, cost is probably a big factor as well. But we've got a mission to do. We've got to help other people understand and educate and understand each other on how electric vehicles are actually not that expensive at the end of the day when you factor in a bunch of different things. But we're going to talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it. So definitely hit that subscribe if you are interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Inside EVs. Quote, "Are cost misunderstandings hurting mass EV adoption?" It seems like there was a study done in the TLDR is that there's a graph right here, and you can see the top 5 concerns or top 10 concerns about owning a electric vehicle or battery electric vehicle. But the biggest one is battery life. I guess 59% of people, or whatever the study is, are worried about all the battery degradation, range loss, or things like that. But the big thing with that is that electric vehicles, Teslas included, have really long warranty life, or really any vehicle. Any manufacturer that's selling a electric vehicle has really long warranty life. So as long as your battery life doesn't degrade past like a certain percentage point, you should be fine at the end of the day. The second one is recharging time. It looks like 51% of those people are worried about that. And that kind of makes sense, especially if you do not have some sort of home charging setup and you have to rely on Tesla's supercharging network, because those chargers, they can take 20 to 30 minutes every single time. And that's something you have to factor in at the end of the day. But once you get a charger at home, it really makes sense, and really makes it really easy that you don't have to figure out and just charge at home at the end of the day. The next one is driving range. It seems like 47% have some sort of driving range or range anxiety, and that's valid and fair, but most people, I feel like, do not drive over 100 miles a day. So if you have a home charger plus you're doing a lot of driving, then it really makes sense no matter what. But if you don't have either of those two things, then I can certainly see why it could be much more of a bigger concern at the end of the day. The next one is battery pack replacement costs. I guess that could make sense if you're buying a much older or used Tesla vehicle, then you're worried about that. I mean, they probably see all these headlines where people are paying 15, 20K for a battery replacement, but that could certainly make sense no matter what, or certainly not make sense no matter what. Affordability and fewer public charging stations are the 4th/5th or 5th/6th one. And affordability makes a lot of sense because of the perception of Tesla. I feel like Tesla for a while has had this perception that it's an expensive vehicle, but after today, I mean, these past few months, you can really get Tesla vehicles after incentives and credits and even state incentives for really much in the 20s at this point. Model 3, 27, 28,000 after all the incentives. It could make a lot of sense, especially if you're using a referral code just like the one down below in the description, because then you can get extra 1,500 loot box credits, which then translates to 500 supercharger miles for charging up your Tesla. So that could alleviate some of your range anxiety while you're waiting to get your home charger set up at the end of the day. And on top of that, we promote this website a lot, but waitingfortesla.com, where you can see all the different inventories that vehicles available across the country. You can see all the different discounts, and that's where it makes it a lot more cheaper at the end of the day to buy and finance a Tesla. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts. Do you agree or disagree with some of these concerns? And after you've bought a Tesla, if there's anybody out there that has just purchased one, what has your perspective changed on this? I feel like a lot of this pretty much goes to the wayside once you get into the ecosystem and get used to driving an electric vehicle, whatever the vehicle is. And that certainly makes a lot of sense at the end of the day. But we're going to jump into the live stream comments. And on top of that, we're doing the giveaway for OC10 Solutions. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best financing rates for financing your Tesla. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. All right, let's see.